Bai Wu is a young man who was kicked out of his apartment for not paying rent. When passing a lottery shop, Bai Wu suddenly stopped. Give it a go, a bicycle becomes a motorcycle. Thinking, Bai Wu walked into the lottery shop. Boss, get me a $5 scratch off, and take that 5 fortune photo. The owner of the lottery shop opened the cupboard, took out a stack of 5 lucky photos, looked up at Bai Wu, and asked, which one do you want? Just take one of them. After Bai Wu said casually, he was stunned for a moment, because he saw that on the stack of lottery scratches, there were numbers and percentages suspended. 0%, 100%, 0%, 100%, 0%, 100%. What's the situation? Could it be that I wrote all night last night, too tired and dazzled? Bai Wu was puzzled, shook his head, rubbed his eyes, and looked again. The percentages of these numbers were still suspended on the lottery scratch. Give. The boss glanced suspiciously at Bai Wu, who shook his head and rubbed his eyes, took down the top lottery scratcher, and handed it to Bai Wu. Oh, Bai Wu glanced at the scratch-off music that the boss handed over, and there was still a half-point ratio floating on it, and it was 100%. What exactly is this? Bai Wu became more and more curious. I took a coin and quickly scratched off the lottery ticket. $10 won. Bai Wu looked at the lottery ticket, pondered for a few seconds, and a bold idea emerged spontaneously. He raised his head and said, Boss, give me 2 more. I want the middle one and the 8th one. Bai Wu selected 2 more lottery tickets with 100% number percentages suspended above them. Scrape off one by one. The first one, winning 50. The second one, winning 5. My cow, true or false, is the percentage of numbers floating on these scratches the probability that these scratches will win the lottery? Bai Wu was inexplicably excited, took a deep breath, and said, Boss, another 11, I want this one, that one. This time, Bai Wu chose 10 100% and 1 0%. 10 100% scratch cards floating in the sky, more or less, all won. The only scratch off with 0% floating in the sky did not win. My cow, how can I see the success rate? Bai Wu's eyes widened, his face dazed. Aside, the owner of the lottery shop saw Bai Wu's appearance, patted Bai Wu on the shoulder, and said earnestly, Young man, I told you, a small bet is happy, a big bet hurts your health. You say you, before the middle it's 50 yuan, it's better to stop it, now it's not worth the loss, right? Boss. Bai Wu pushed the 10 winning lottery tickets in front of the boss and said, Give me 10 20 yuan lottery tickets in one 10 yuan lottery ticket, and the remaining $5 will be my best ticket. Start that $5 lottery ticket. The boss was taken aback. Checked all the lottery tickets one by one. I am cow. The boss shook his hand and couldn't help but let out a foul language. Young man, are you sure you want to buy it? Listen to me, stop it, don't waste the last $200. There is something like a lottery ticket that can really exist. At last, at Bai Wu's insistence, the boss took out 10 $20 lottery tickets and a $10 lottery ticket according to Bai Wu's request. Winning amount is as high as 20,420 Ps. 30% lottery tickets, none of them won. Looking at the 20,400 yuan that Alipay had just received, Bai Wu fell into deep thought. First of all, what is certain is that the percentage numbers floating on these lottery tickets represent the success rate of winning or not. 0% means you can't win the lottery, and 100% means you can win the lottery, but the amount won is unknown. Bai Wu couldn't help but look forward to it. If only I could know the winning amount, if only I could know the probability of winning 100 yuan or other amounts in these lottery tickets. The thought just fell. Sudden. Bai Wu's eyes inadvertently crossed the stack of 10 yuan scratch-off lottery tickets. The whole person was stunned. Because he found that the success rate floating on the stack of lottery tickets is not pure 0% and 100%. Young man, seriously, take it as soon as you see it. Luck is such a thing, I really can't tell. The boss persuaded earnestly. Bai Wu raised his head and grinned at the boss, and said with a smile, It's okay, I feel like I'm lucky today. Anyway, I've already made 20,000 yuan, not less than 100 yuan. If I don't win the lottery, it's time to contribute to the national welfare cause. The boss took a deep breath and said nothing. One by one, According to Bai Wu's request, he tore the 10 lottery tickets to Bai Wu. Bai Wu scratched off one by one according to the size of the digital percentage, ranging from small to large. Hey, it looks like I'm still lucky. Bai Wu scratched his head and smiled at the boss twice. The boss's expression remained unchanged. The boss's mood began to fluctuate. With 6 scratch-off lottery tickets in a row, Zhang Zhang was able to win the lottery. Although this luck was not against the sky, it was already very unusual. Bai Wu scratched off the first 50% lottery ticket and won 50 yuan. Raising his head and facing the boss' wide-eyed gaze, Bai Wu showed a simple and honest smile again, and muttered to himself, "I'm really lucky today, I actually won the lottery again. Boss, the second 50% lottery ticket will win 50 yuan. Boss, 100% of the lottery, winning 100 yuan. Boss, 200% of the lottery, winning 200 yuan. Boss, so far, all 10 lottery tickets have been scratched." Bai Wu stared at the 10 scratched lottery tickets, and thoughtfully, a guess gradually formed. After a few seconds, he turned his attention to another $10 scratch-off lottery ticket. Above these lottery tickets, there are also various percentages of numbers floating. 10%, 100%, 0%, 0%, 20%, 50%. If only I could know the odds of winning $50 after scratching these lottery tickets. As soon as the thought fell, Bai Wu saw that the percentage of numbers floating above this lottery ticket began to change. What was originally 10% has become 20%, what was originally 100% has become 200%, what was originally 20% has become 40%, what was originally 50% has become 100%. Really, seeing this scene, Bai Wu was overjoyed and confirmed his guess. In order to confirm his guess with his own eyes, Bai Wu raised his head again, scratched his head with a simple and honest face, and smiled at the boss. Hey, boss, it looks like my luck today is really good. Your luck is just good. What good things have you done in your past life, you have this kind of luck? The boss was very dissatisfied with the words, "good luck," in Bai Wu's mouth, and couldn't help but complain. Hey, Bai Wu smiled slyly, "Since my luck is so bad today, boss, I plan to strike while the iron is hot and give me 20 pieces of this kind of 10 yuan scratch off." Bai Wu deliberately selected 10 lottery tickets with 0% of these 20 lottery tickets. This is to hide the public's eyes and ears and cause further suspicion from the boss. "Young man, winning the lottery is the lottery, luck is luck, you must not indulge in it," the boss once again persuaded earnestly. "It's okay, boss, I'm lucky today, maybe I won all the 20 lottery tickets again. Even if I lose, I don't care, it's only 200 yuan, anyway, I've made more than 20,000 today." Quote. Bai Wu scratched his head and smiled indifferently. Boss. According to Bai Wu's request, the boss tore off 20 yuan scratch-off lottery tickets one by one. Without saying a word, Bai Wu picked up the coin and seemingly randomly picked one of the 20 lottery tickets handed over by the boss. Bai Wu scratched the lottery ticket under the watchful eyes of the boss. Did not win. Wu tilde. Bai Wu clearly noticed that the boss next to him was relieved. "Young man, let me just say, luck is something that comes and goes, it's unreliable," the boss said with a kind face. Bai Wu went to another 0% lottery ticket and scratched it off. Did not win. The third card did not win the prize. The fourth card did not win the prize. The fifth card did not win the prize. 10 lottery tickets were scraped in a row, but none of them won. Bai Wu's face suddenly turned ugly. The reason for using single quotation marks is that Bai Wu pretended to have an ugly face. On the contrary, the boss sent several breaths in a row. Seeing Bai Wu's ugly face, he reached out and patted Bai Wu's shoulder, and persuaded again earnestly, "Hey, young man, I told you, you can take it as soon as you see it. Luck is unreliable, you don't believe it, I guess. The fact that you even won the lottery just now, and even scratched the 20,000 yuan prize from scratch, has sucked away your good luck for a whole year." Bai Wu silently glanced at the 10 remaining lottery tickets that had not been scratched, and looked at the 30,000% success rate on a certain lottery ticket. "How about this, young man, I will refund you 100 yuan, and the remaining 10 lottery tickets, forget it. With your current luck, if you can win one of these 10 lottery tickets, it will be very good. The boss persuaded earnestly, and Bai Wu could vaguely smell a little bit of hilarity from the boss's words. No need, boss, thank you for your kindness. Bai Wu's face was still full of ugly, and he refused. I don't believe it anymore. I can't scratch one of these 10 lottery tickets to win. Young man, forget it, take a step back and hey. Bai Wu looked up at the boss for the first time, scratched his head, honestly, and said with a smile, Boss, it seems that my luck is back. The boss smiled lightly. The second one, a 100% lottery ticket, 150 yuan. Yeah, I've won the lottery again, 50 yuan. Bai Wu shouted, excitedly. The boss nodded calmly. The third ticket, 20% of the lottery, 110 yuan. Boss, I've won the lottery again. Bai Wu raised the lottery ticket in his hand. The boss smiled slightly. The fourth, a 20% lottery ticket, 110 yuan. Hey, how come I won the lottery again, it's only 10 yuan. Bai Wu muttered with disgust. The boss smiled reluctantly. The fifth ticket, 50% of the lottery, 125 yuan. This last lottery ticket, let me scrape $1 million jackpot. Bai Wu muttered to himself. Young man, the probability of scratching out the $10,000 prize from Scratch Music is 0.0001%. I don't know if there is any. You just scratched out 20,000 yuan, and your luck has exploded. Before the boss's words were finished, Bai Wu suddenly shouted in surprise, I won 15,000. I actually won the grand prize. The boss hurriedly looked over his head. A pair of patterns. It really hit 15,000. A shiver all over. By the way, boss, what did you just say? What happened to the explosion of luck? Bai Wu asked suddenly. No, nothing. The boss shook the cigarette and smiled reluctantly.